How y'all doing, guys? Hope you well. Cody, guys, back again, dropping yet another video. Right, it's 20 to 12 now, on a Saturday night, right? The kids asked me on YouTube, right, previously to do a video, what happens at trial, right? About like jury and sworn in and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to address it real quick, right? This is how dedicated I am. Might be out of prison, but I'm still in prison to these fucking videos. But if someone asks me to do a video, and I've got experience of that subject, then I'll drop a video. Right, guys. So, so when when you're arrested and stuff, and you're charged, you go to court. You can go to magistrates, and they'll say, right, do you want to, like, if the case is already serious and stuff, like, and they can't deal with it at the magistrates, it'll be sent to the Crown, or if it's a summary only offence, they can say to you, like, right, we can deal with it here, or you can opt for Crown, right? You always opt for Crown anyway, right? Because magistrates' courts are not legally trained, the judges. It's the court clerk that's legally trained. Like I say, guys, I'm not qualified in legal stuff. I've been in trouble a lot. That's why I know a bit. So yeah, right, you've opted for Crown, right? Or they sent you to Crown, right? Then you go up on a case hearing, and they'll ask you, do you plead guilty or not guilty? You plead not. If you plead guilty, you'll get a third off of your sentence. But this kid wants to know if you go not guilty, and then obviously it can take about a year to come up to trial. You can be placed on conditional bail, unconditional bail, or if it's a very serious case and stuff, you can be remanded into custody. But let's deal with it as people that have been out on bail. They've gone not guilty. They've been to preliminary hearing and stuff. They've done plea case management, which is where, like, a plea of direction, you've gone not guilty, right? Like I say, if you plead guilty at that, you get a third off. But people take the chance and stuff and go for trial, right? So I've been on trial once at Manchester Crown Court, Crown Square, up on an assault charge when I was doing the doors. I got away with it. I got acquitted. I applied for acquittal with no case to answer on day 2. Was accepted because the kids were lying. It was proven they was lying, and the charges against me were dismissed. That was it. The jury found me not guilty. Right, that was that. Right. So anyway, so you've gone not guilty. You've gone forward to court and stuff like that. So like I say, you've got your preliminary hearing to get through. You got plea case management, which is like plea direction and stuff, and then you go. And then you could, if the evidence is very vague and weak against you, you'd say to your legal team, I want to apply for an acquittal with no case to answer. That just pretty much means that you're trying to get out of going to trial by saying that the charges against you are malicious, or they're so weak and vague and tedious that the charges against you should be dropped and you should walk free. Sometimes it works for people, other times it doesn't. Anyway, so you've gone through all that and now you're at trial. So you turn up at court the morning of your trial. Say your trial's set for some trials are set for weeks, some trials are set for a couple of days, some can take a lot longer. Right, so you go into the court, you go into the dock. As you go into the courtroom and stuff like that, the usher will direct you towards the I can't fucking think what it's called. This, like, the what's it fucking called? Into where the screws are, right? Into the dock, right? Now the dock, yeah, there's two sorts of docks. You've got an open dock, or in serious, like in Crown Court and stuff. I was in a bulletproof one. A lot of people go in them. It's nothing special. So then I've gone in. There's a prison officer that's there. When you walk into the dock, you'll see either a door or you'll see some stairs. As soon as you walk into the dock, you'll look down, and there's normally stairs going down, or there's a door, and then that leads down into the cells below the prison. Because obviously, once you walk into that, into the stand, into the dock, sorry, the screws lock the door behind you. Now, obviously, you'll be allowed to come and go, like when they break for dinner and stuff, you'll be allowed out. But obviously, say you're being found guilty, and then you go into the dock, they'll lock that door. You'd have a bag with you, and then obviously, if you get sent down, then you won't be leaving that dock. You go straight into the cells. But right, guys. So anyway, so you've walked into court. The usher's directed you to the dock. You've walked into the dock. You walk into the dock. The prison officer will lock the door behind you. They'll sit there with you. They'll have like a piece of paper with your details on and stuff, what's happening with you. They always do it. There's a phone as well, like in the dock. You sit there. When the judge comes in, you'll be asked to stand, which you do. You don't want to piss the judge off now, do you? So you stand up. That's like paying respect to the judge in the court and all that stuff. Then you'll be asked to sit. You'll sit down. And then what will happen then is the charge will get read out, the charge that's up on you, that's up against you. And then the jury will be sworn in, right? The jury will come in. There's 12 members of them. Could be 6 men, 6 women. It could be like different ratios, yeah. They'll come in, right? And then the jury will be asked if they know you or anything like that. If they do, then they'll be, that member of the jury will be discharged and stuff. But say they don't know you and stuff, right? The jury is sworn in, and then all they're there to do is preside over the evidence and stuff. The idea is they're impartial, right? They don't know you, they don't know your background, right? They're just there to listen to the evidence. But the thing is, right, the CPS, the Crown Prosecution Service, that bring in the charges against you, right? They're very good at like directing the jury and stuff like that. So like I say, you sit there, and then the prosecution will put their case forward. They'll put the charges forward. They'll put why they think you did it, any evidence against you. This can also include like witnesses and stuff like that, whether it's someone that you know, or if you was at the scene of an incident and someone recognized you or something, or they identified you. They'll be there and they'll have witness statements and stuff that'll be read out to the jury. They'll have to swear an oath to say that they are knowingly giving the truth and everything like that, because you can do them for perjury if you lied to the court and everything, even though every criminal that's ever gone into court has lied. So yeah, and then they'll break for dinner, so you'll then be allowed out of the dock, because obviously if you've got bail and stuff, right, you can walk out of the dock and stuff, go and get your dinner, sit down with your barrister, right, and all this sort of stuff, and then you'll go back in after dinner, and then you've got to go through the same rigmarole. You always wear a suit and stuff, suit or shirt and tie, pants, look the part. Always goes in your favour, guys. First impressions count for a lot. So then, like I say, you go back in, and then the evidence carries on being given, and then once the CPS finish putting their case to the judge and to the jury, then it'll be down for, like, and any witness has been cross-examined by your barrister, then you'll have to swear an oath, and then like you'll be questioned and stuff, and then you can be cross-examined by the CPS. Your own barrister might ask you questions. The jury sit there, they reside and stuff. Like I say, if it goes on for days, it goes on for days, so on and so forth. And then what will happen is when the CPS you'll finish summing up. The CPS will finish their final argument. Your barrister will finish his final argument. The jury will be then what they call discharge. What's it called? They go into chambers to go and to make a decision what's happened with you and stuff. Deliberations, it's called. Like they get sent out to go and do deliberations. It can take hours, it can take days, right? It can take a day or two. And what it is, it's just like they just go out, they sit in the back, they all talk about the case and stuff. Do you think he's innocent? Do you think he's guilty and stuff? Like I say, you only need 2 to be found not guilty, right? If you 2 go not guilty, you're walking, right? But like I say, I've been in court numerous times with my friends and stuff. Most recently with my friend Stuart Horner, who got 9 years for, well, he's in prison, smashed up the roof of strangers and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, so then the jury gets sent out, and then the jury will, when they finally finished making deliberation, when they've all agreed and stuff, they'll come back into court. Again, you'll be in court. You'll ask to stand. You'll stand. The judge will come in. The jury will come in, and then they'll say, right. The judge will speak to the jury, and he'll say, right. Do you find the defendant innocent or guilty on? Say you've got 3 charges, right? They can't do it all together. They've got to do it as 3 separate charges. So they'll say, do you find the defendant on count 1 guilty or not guilty? And they'll say guilty, and then the judge will say, right, or the clerk will say, is that the finding of you all? Like, do you all say he's guilty? And then one of them will stand up, the foreman. Like, there's one member of the jury that's like the spokesperson, if you will, and they say yes, that's one of us all, right? And then they'll say, right, count two. Do you find the defendant guilty or not guilty? And then again, the jury will pass verdicts, guilty or not guilty. The third count, if you've got three counts, like I say, it could be one, could be two, could be three, and so on and so forth, right? And then they'll say again, do you find the defendant guilty or innocent on count three? And if they say guilty, they'll say right, and then the jury will then be discharged, and then it's down to the judge then, right? Now the judge, he could ask for a pre-sentence report on you, or he could say if you've got previous, he could just deal with you there and then. Sometimes they deal with you there and then. Say the decision comes back in the morning from the jury and they find you guilty in the morning. The judge could deal with you there and then. It could delay it for a few days, a week, or depending on like a pre-sentence report, things like that. Pre-sentence report, I've gone over it on another video. It just makes the judge's decision and stuff like that, whether you go to prison or what he can do with you. And the probation service, they make recommendations to the judge. The judge doesn't always listen. Like I say, guys, for those that have never been in prison and never been in court and stuff, right? If you go to a magistrate's court, yeah, it's like a Mickey Mouse court. You go to a Crown Court, yeah, and it's a different ball game. They all wear the gowns. They've got the fucking the wigs on and stuff, which look like sheep's fucking wool all curled up and stuff. It can be a very daunting thing and stuff. Just because you're in the dock, right, don't think that you're automatically going to be found guilty. Some people find innocent, some people are found guilty, right? Some people, they struggle to come to a verdict, right? And then the jury can be hung and stuff like that. So yeah, there's many different things that can play out in court. When I was in court, like the eyes of because I was working as a bouncer, and I got done for choking some kid out, right? He was a fucking idiot, and he lied, right? He said he was unconscious, but he took every step out of the building, and his mate said he was in front of him, and he could see he was unconscious, and it all unravelled and stuff, and I was found innocent. But I was thinking in my head, fucking hell, the jury are going to think this big guy against this fucking muppet, right? They're going to think, fucking hell, like he's a bully or something. But like I say, I got found not guilty, and that was me. I was sweet. But yeah, so like I say, if the judge finds, so whether they sentence you there and then, or you go back to be sentenced, when you know you're going to be sentenced and stuff, you always take a bag, guys. You pack it with everything that I've addressed in other videos, because if you're could be getting years in prison, you need to pack everything that you're going to need. Towel, flip-flops, clothes, money, writing pad and pen, writing all your family's mobile numbers and stuff down. Yeah, so it goes on, right? And then obviously if the judge says, right, I sentence you to 3 years in prison, right, custodial, you'll be sent down, and then the screw will say, right, down the stairs, and then that'll be it. You'll go down the stairs, right, and then that's it. You go into prison, right? You'll go downstairs. They'll search your bag. They'll search you. They'll take any money you've got on you, things like that. I asked to change into. I got some clothes out of me old doll, and I said I want to change. So I got changed into something comfortable, and that was it. Then I was put into a cell, given a sandwich, given a drink, and then when transport arrived, they said, right, you go into whatever prison you're going to. From every courthouse, you go to a certain prison. Yeah, so that's that. And then you go to prison and you're processed and so on, and I've covered that in other videos. If you found not guilty, then you just the screw would unlock the dock, and you'd walk out the dock with your bag, and then you'd give your family a big hug and stuff, and then you go into a room with your barrister. You probably get debriefed and stuff, talk to your barrister and stuff, and that's it. When you go to court and stuff like that, and there's aggravating and mitigating circumstances. Aggravating factors are like if you went into a house and stuff and you've got a weapon, that's an aggravating factor. Like a dwelling, but you've got a weapon, that'd be classed as an aggravating factor. Aggravating factors go against you. mitigating circumstances go for you. Now, that's more like when you're coming towards sentencing and stuff like that. If you work for a charity and you're a good man, or you're a carer for your mum or your dad if they're ill or something like that, or you've just started a new job and you've got kids and you donate to charity and you do a bit of charity work on the side, all them things go for you. I found when I've been in custody and stuff as a former soldier, that's always held me in high regard and stuff like that. The judge looks favourably upon that, but again, I still ended up in prison. Right, guys, hope this covers the subject for the lad that's asked the questions. That's pretty much as I can say. Right, guys, as always, like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye.